Welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Savant video. This is another movie review that I'm doing. This is an older movie. This is the Lego Batman movie. Just finally got a chance to see it. I heard a lot of good things about the movie. I didn't really care for the original Lego movie, so I was kind of skeptical about going in, but a lot of comic book fans and friends said they really enjoyed the movie, so I figured I would give it a try. It was on cable, on home cable, on HBO, so I decided to give it a try, and this is my review of the movie. If you're unfamiliar with the Lego Batman movie, it's directed by Chris McKay. This is basically the same Batman character we got in the Lego movie in his own full-length feature. For comic book fans, it definitely pays a big homage to all the different iterations of Batman over his 75-year history, all in amalgamation. They have a lot of fun with it. Chris McKay does a really good job in directing the movie. For me, it's just didn't hit all the tones for me. Again, I ran into the same problem that I did with the Lego movie. It just didn't connect with me. And again, I've talked about this on the podcast at different times that, you know, as a 42-year-old male, I'm not the target demographic for some of these things. So being a comic fan and loving these things dear at heart, these properties and these characters, some of the new directions and the variations and the directions they go in the movies and the takes they take on certain characters are not targeted for everyone. So you just have to accept that when you're watching this. You know, I had fun with it. Is it a movie that I would revisit? Not really. It was cute. It was cool for, you know, the hour and a half run time, but it's not a movie that I would, you know, put in the top echelon of comic book movies. I would highly recommend it if you really liked the Lego movie, or I mean, they recently had the Lego Ninjago movie. If you like that style, then it should be right up your alley. And I can understand people that are into those would thoroughly enjoy this movie. I think it's worth watching if you're a comic book fan, but I think it varies on how big you're into the Lego movie properties, on how much enjoyment you will derive from the film. They just to talk about some of the cast in the movie, we have Will Arnett reprising his role as Batman from the Lego movie. You have Michael Cera as Dick Grayson. You have Rosario Dawson as Barbara Gordon. You have Ralph Fiennes as Alfred Pennyworth and Zach Galifianakis as the Joker. The cast is awesome. So, you know, if I had to break this down and grade the movie as a whole, the acting, I think, is a 6 out of 10. I think it's kind of limited, but again, they're targeting a younger, different demographic than myself, so it wasn't anything outstanding about the voice acting in the film. The casting, I say, is an 8 out of 10. Everyone did a phenomenal job, but I just feel like ultimately it wasn't a ton to work with as far as depth here. It's just a fun, spoofy style. Like, again, if you like the Lego movie, you get more of that here, but just in the Batman world. And again, I'm pulling things from all the wide history of Batman, from TV, from movies, from cartoons. It's all in here. So you know, they're pulling from a lot of different places, but I just feel like ultimately in the end, the story lacks a little focus, and it's kind of limp at parts. But again, it's cutesy, but I feel like it's definitely made and targeted for a younger demographic. The direction, I say definitely that Chris McKay did a wonderful job. I would say out of a 10-point scale, he did a 7 out of 10. He's been tapped to direct the Nightwing movie for Warner Brothers in DC based off how well this did. He definitely, you know, he loves and he's invested in the source material, and he knows it well to pull from such a vast array of the different eras of Batman and represent them in a movie like this. So definitely I am very interested to see where he goes with the Nightwing movie. If that ever gets made with all the shakeup with Warner Brothers, it'll be interesting to see. I hope so, because I feel I feel a level of anticipation seeing how much he loved the Batman universe in this movie, that I would look forward to really seeing what he would do in a live action Nightwing film. Special effects is a 7 out of 10. Whenever you do something like the Lego movie and the Lego Batman movie, it's amazing what they can do with computers now, and incorporating the whole Lego franchise into it. That's phenomenal. I say that was a 7 out of 10. And the story to me was the weakest part, and it triggers back to what I was saying about the acting. There's not a lot of depth here. There's a lot of real spoofy. Some of the jokes just didn't catch for me, and they try to throw a lot in. Some stuff made me chuckle, but it was not gut busting, like fall over, laughing, and and they throw a lot of puns and jokes at you constantly throughout the movie. And for me personally, more than not, it didn't connect for me. So again, it just, it was just kind of going through the motions watching the movie. All in all, I would give it about a 6.8 out of 10. And I feel like it would range for fans depending on what your love is for the Lego movie franchises. I feel like it might be, if you're a fan of those, this movie is probably an 8 or 8.5 out of 10. For me, not being so much a fan of the series of Lego movies and their style of comedy, that's all I could give it, is a 6.8. But I would recommend it, but I can't strongly recommend it. Like I said, it varies just what side of the fence you fall on when it comes to the comedy in the Lego film franchises at this point. For me, I fall on the low end, not the high end. So that's where I'm at with it. So again, I know this is a later review. Most of you might have already seen it. Hopefully, if not, I'm giving you some, some ideas if it's worth checking out or not. Again, stay tuned to the channel. I do not just comic reviews, but anything in the realm of the comic book industry, like these movie reviews, television show reviews, you name it. Just when it comes to anything in the world of comics, I like to cover it. You can always go to the website, which is comicbooksavant.com, as well as here on the YouTube channel. I do a weekly podcast as well as putting videos out on YouTube. I have a playlist down in the description box below. If you like the content that I'm putting out, like, share, subscribe, click the bell notification down at the bottom so you will be alerted when a new video or new content drops on the channel. That's all I have for you guys this week. I'll see you again next week for another episode of Comic Book Savant video. Hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Take care.